story begins with some exposition and our main character, Belle, about to fucking die. Sadly, Saber shows up and makes this video significantly longer. After this traumatic experience, he waltzes back to the guild and it's revealed that he's a level 1 noob and also a massive Saber stan. After a long talk about how much of a Chad Saber is and if she has a boyfriend or not, Belle finally goes home with the drive to get stronger to impress his one and true love, Senpai Ein, which sets up his main goal. Once home, we get introduced to Hestia, the god of this familia, with only one member, being Belle. You may know her for their design, and with some oddly sexual tones from Hestia towards Belle.
So, why don't we turn dinner into a wild party? Get ready. You're not gonna get any sleep tonight.
Wait, give me a sec. Let me just who cares? After eating some McDonald's hash browns, Hestia performs a checkup on Belle's stats, and for some reason gets jealous over a 14-year-old boy's crush on a girl, and hits him with and oh crap, he has a skill. Please, don't become one of those overpowered MCs that one-shot everything. After being assaulted by an 1,000-year-old god, Belle hits the dash instead of calling the police. He gets free food from a girl he just met, and also got asked out. He fights some monsters without any safety around, which proves to me there is no child labor laws in this place, which makes this show a 10 out of 10. And with the power of being a stan, he gets significantly stronger because of his skill. And while Hestia is busy throwing a damn tantrum, Belle gets strong-armed into giving up his full paycheck because someone handed him food. Some yelling later about getting strong, the first episode ends. Hestia finds out that Belle's curse technique is the more angry he gets, the faster he grows, and to prevent him from presumably going to another god and exposing her for the amount of crime she's committed against a minor, she doesn't tell him. So she guilt trips him into staying in her familia and lets him know that she'll be gone for 2 days at a god party, where she meets Freya, who definitely isn't evil, some body shaming, some poor shaming later. Hestia begs her friend whom she's been freeloading off of to please make her a weapon, and also I think friend's kind of hot. So, oh my god, it's the guy from the song ending. Anyways, Belle decides to do a side quest to get a girl purse, and oh no, Freya is being scary. While looking, Belle and his captor, they meet up and they go on a date. While that's happening, the setup to a different type of anime starts up. Never mind that King Kong is after Hestia. After running, Belle decides not to be a bitch and fight. Then his knife breaks. Then they run some more. Backstory time, but it really doesn't matter. Oh no, Belle seems pretty cooked. While Hestia rushes to give him the knife so he doesn't die after falling down a flight of stairs and probably breaking a few bones, Hestia hands him the knife that she pulled from a crate. Cut to Eyes finding out about the big monkey man. Alright, round 2 starts up, and Belle finally gets to put some work in. And with the power of self-confidence, he solos the boss by stabbing it in the chest. Side note, that knife is definitely not deep enough to kill that thing. And the day is saved. But oh no, Hestia passes out. Although she didn't do any work. Don't worry, she's fine. They were just a bit eepy. Oh, and oh damn, child llama. There really isn't any child labor laws here. Belle goes on another date, but this time it's with his advisor. Wait. Oh, not good again. While on this date, Belle goes to the equivalent of a Gucci's weapon shop and bumps into Hestia, which he promptly threatens the lady Belle's on a date with. Later, while Belle is trying to find anything that won't kill his wallet, he finds something that will kill his wallet. When the deed is done, Ina gives Belle the gift of a really ugly arm guard. And, oh, it's the child. And, oh no, it's the guy with a sword. And then he promptly leaves. Oh, the child is back offering some help. Her name is Lily. She's an old person. Blah blah blah, Belle touches her ears. Then, later, Lily guilt trips Belle by saying, quote unquote, because he touched my special spot. So monster killing later, and Belle gets his knife stolen, and promptly shits himself. After trying to sell it, Lily runs into the up lady and promptly loses, and Belle gets his knife back. We cut to Hestia crying about how her victim is cheating on her with another groomer, and the only right course of action for her is to drink. During Hestia's tantrum, Belle asks her out on a date. Some boobs here, some boobs there. Jump cut to a group of grown men mugging a child. Oh, she fell. Some more Belle being nice later. He gets a spooky magic book. And while reading, he trips balls and has a conversation with his multiple personalities. And now he can use magic. And like a teenage boy going to a sick party, Belle sneaks out and shoots up a bunch of monsters. Like a giddy child. Eyes stumbles across his body. Oh shit, more boobs. Sonic rolls into Lily getting assaulted and planting the seed in her mind that Belle is a bad guy. It starts with Lily's backstory, which boils down to, the adventurers were mean to me. Remember the seed from last episode? Well, because of that, she spurred on to suggesting Belle to go to the 10th floor. Oh no, the punks are saying they'll rob Belle, but Eyes overhears it. And while Belle is distracted with the monsters, Lily sets up a trap and steals his knife and leaves him for dead. But oh no, those punks jumped Lily and stole her things. But they turned on the first guy, and now Lily is left for dead. But oh my god, Belle survived! And the day is saved.
We start back up with another older woman in this show being obsessed with a 14-year-old. And then, when I thought Belle was going to grow a personality, he forgives Lily. But Hestia is still a bit iffy about her, but that's definitely because Belle has another woman in his life. Getting back to the story, Lily's punishment is to look after Belle. And as the completely straight man he is, he leaves the two creeps high and not so dry right into Eyes' ass. And while actually showing some amount of character by self-loathing about being a failure, even though we haven't seen him fail all that much, Eyes decides to help the poor boy. Then oh my god, it's still bad guy! Belle, I swear to god, stop being so damn nice. Cut to a montage of him getting beat and passing out. And after the 50th time, she gets tired and passes out. Belle thinking to himself, the ghost of his dead grandpa shows up, urging him to make out with the unconscious girl in front of him. With some heavy consideration, he chooses not to commit a crime. Episode over. While doing dishes at a place he doesn't work, he gets the idea to have a party. And today, the Loki Familia, plus some more, are trying to get to floor 59 so they could be the first. While that's going on, Belle and Lily run into a Minotaur, so Belle can show he's grown as a character and as a fighter. But because Belle is being a coward, Lily pushes him out of the way of an attack and somehow knocks herself out. But thankfully, Eyes' party gets a whiff of the situation and is slowly heading over there. While that's happening, an epic fight ensues, but sadly, Saber comes in and makes this video significantly longer. But thankfully, Belle grows some bells and he wants to take on the monster one-on-one. While he's fighting, pedo number 3 is creaming her pants, watching Belle fight. But like seriously, this fight is actually sick. It almost makes up for the past couple of episodes being boring as hell. All great things must come to an end, and Belle kills the Minotaur. And while Belle passes out standing, it's told to us that he has S-tier abilities. And the episode ends with the words, "This is where our story begins," meaning everything before was filler. Oh my god, it's the guy from the song. Also, Belle's level 2. And thankfully, Hestia has to leave for this god event where they name their kids. And she comes back with the name for Belle, which is Little Rookie. And to celebrate that awful name, they go out drinking and get into a bit of a squabble with some ruffians. Well, after that ordeal, Belle, looking for more armor by the same guy he made last time, runs into that guy. And in exchange for joining his team, which Belle agrees, but Lily doesn't, blah blah blah, some fighting later, and Belle gets unicorn poop on his hands, and Lily somehow doesn't notice the massive dragon heading towards them. Belle being the smart guy he is, uses his new skill, plot armor, and one-shots the damn dragon. While during their day off, Wealth plans to make Belle a new magic weapon. And in order to do so, they use the Minotaur horn that, from the Minotaur Belle killed. And with the naming of the blade and the strengthening of their romance, the episode ends. While Belle and the gang are busy in the dungeon, it cuts to Hermes and his pretty hot assistant talking about Belle. Then it cuts back to the dungeon with another party reenacting my average Fortnite games. While carrying their downed teammate, they use Belle and the gang as bait and as a diversion to get away. Belle, being the tough guy he is, decides to blow this popsicle stand and skedaddle. And while Belle is running, both his teammates get injured and Belle has to do what I have to do every game and carry them. Feeling guilty about basically setting up Belle and the gang for death, them, plus Hermes, go back down to rescue them. While that's happening, Belle's group decides to run further down to reach the safe floor. Monster after monster, the group gets whittled down until they reach the floor before. Furthermore, the door is blocked by the boss of the floor before, so he runs for his life. And then makes it to the safe zone, where he promptly passes out and is nursed back by eyes, and Belle falls into her boobs. Nighttime comes, and the rest of the gang wakes up from their injuries. And because they probably haven't eaten in 18 hours, they join the feast, but sadly, Hestia rolls down and interrupts the show with a lengthy apology from the party that, messed them up in the first place. But because Belle's such a nice guy, he accepts their apology, and Wells gets a baguette. The next day, while shopping, Belle runs into a bunch of the ruffians from the bar, and they skedaddle to fight another day. After that ordeal, a bunch of the girls talk about taking a bath. While that's happening, Hermes takes Belle up to a tree to have a private conversation. And then he pushes Belle into the water with a bunch of naked women, in which half of them want to sleep with him. Out of sheer embarrassment, he unlocks the power to run on water, and which he uses to run into another naked woman. While Belle's busy listening to another backstory, those scoundrels talk about jumping Belle. The next day, Hestia gets kidnapped while everyone's distracted. Belle, finding the note they left behind, rushes to find her, but in order to save her, he has to 1v1 the main bad guy. While Belle is getting beat up by a man because the dude is invisible, the rest of the gang show up, taking down the goons one by one. Hestia gets saved by Lily, and the baguette is lost. Hestia shows up and steals Belle's kills with her holy powers, but kill stealing is frowned upon. Retaliation, the boss from the floor before, shows up to ban Hestia from the Earth servers. But because she's the main character, they can't let that happen, and so everyone on the floor jumps it. After all the effort, the boss took 0 damage, so Belle gets a hold of the baguette and one-shots it. And Hermes goes on about Belle being Zeus's grandson, which, considering the things that guy gets up to, it's surprising he's the only one. To sum up my opinions of this show, it's kind of boring. Ignoring all the weird stuff with every other woman wanting this 14-year-old, it just doesn't have much to it. The world itself is interesting, but they can't do much with it considering they stay in the same 5 spots the entire time. And they do have really good action. Like that one Minotaur fight was really well animated and really entertaining, but those moments of really good action are spread out between just very empty dialogue with characters that don't have much to them other than like 2 character traits, which make them very shallow and not entertaining to watch. The dialogue is a bore to sit through, but it isn't the worst show I've ever seen. If you're watching with your friends, you're going to enjoy it. If you're watching it alone just to turn your brain off, you're also going to enjoy it. I enjoyed it as a kid, and coming back to it, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting for my friends to tell me. Honestly, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's not bad, but it's not an amazing show. It's not as good as I once thought, but it's still watchable.
Nice.